Hello and welcome to my craft room here in my 1902 farmhouse. My name is Alicia with Country Mama Musings, and I'm so glad you're here. Today we're going to be working on block 44 for our Heirloom Afghan crochet along. This is the cluster braid. So grab your supplies and let's get started. We're going to make block 44, the cluster braid. I know many of you have anxiously been awaiting for block 44 because it is a booger, and some of you have expressed that you're having difficulty with it. Let's get this one done today. Get it marked off of your list, and I think you're going to be really pleased with yourself once you're able to complete this one. We're going to start with color B, which for me is gray, and our size H crochet hook. We're going to start with a slip knot, leaving a nice long tail to sew in later and get that onto our hook. And we're going to loosely chain 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 25, and 26. Let's move on to row 1. We're going to place a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So not counting the loop that's on our hook, 1, 2, 3, and 4, we're going to place a double crochet right here in that chain. And we're going to place a double crochet in every chain along. So here is a double crochet and another. Now I know for many of you, you're going to get to the end of this row according to your pattern and you're going to panic because it doesn't tell you that the 3 chains that we've skipped here actually count as one of your stitches. It tells you you're supposed to have 24 at the end of the row and you've only counted 23. Make sure you count this as one of your stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to continue placing all of my double crochets along the chain, and I'll meet up with you when we get to the end. Coming here to the end of row 1, there's 23. And right here in our very last chain, we'll place double crochet number 24. So at the end of row 1, you should just have a really nice row of double crochets, making sure you count your chain 3 here that you skipped as one of your stitches. Let's move on to row 2. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. For row 2, we're going to single crochet in each double crochet across, making sure that we place a single crochet here in the top of this chain 3 because it counts as a stitch. Your first single crochet just goes right here immediately into the top of this double crochet here. So here's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to place a single crochet in every stitch across, and I'll meet up with you at the end of the row. 22, 23, and here where we have those initial 3 chains, we're just going to go ahead right to the top of that. Make sure we get 2 loops onto our hook there so we don't have our work pull out of place. And there's 24. Hey, are you enjoying putting together all of the beautiful heirloom sampler blocks for our Heirloom Afghan crochet along? If so, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, check out the playlist that has all of the videos for every block for our crochet along, and be sure to share the video with your friends that like to crochet. Okay, let's get back to our project for this week. For row 3, we're going to chain 3 and turn 1, 2, and 3. And turning our work, this chain 3 counts as a double crochet now and throughout our work, so always keep that in mind. We're going to work a double crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. This stitch here is connected to this chain 3 that counts as a double crochet, so don't work in this stitch. Go to the next stitch. So the next 6 stitches, a double crochet. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Now because this one here counts as a double crochet, in essence we have 7. That's going to come in handy when you get to the end of this row, because remember, in a lot of our blocks here we want symmetry. So we're starting here in essence with 7 double crochet because this one counts. Now, according to our pattern, we want to place a front post double crochet all the way down here in row 1 around the post of the double crochet below the next single crochet. Well, sometimes that's kind of hard to determine in your first rows of establishing a pattern. So let's see what we've got here. We've already determined that we have 7 here. Let's go down here and count out 7, and then we know we want to go to the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's 7. We're going to go around the post of this 8th stitch right here. Putting our hook back onto our work, we're going to yarn over, go all the way down to this stitch and go from the front to the back and around again and come out the front of that stitch, and we've captured that entire post onto our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull our yarn back through, and we're going to give it a little bit of a tug to kind of bring that up to the work level where we're at, all the way up here on row 3. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And this creates this really pretty twisted stitch around the post of this stitch all the way down here in row 1. We're going to go back to where we're working here on row 3, and on the back here, we're going to skip this single crochet right here. We're going to pick up our pattern right here in the next one. So skip this because this lays on top of it. You want that to kind of lay on top of it. Here in our next stitch, a double crochet. And then in our next stitch, a double crochet. So now to work our cluster, we're going to work again down here in row 1, and we're going to work in the 4th double crochet from where we did this front post double crochet here. So counting over 1, 2, 3, here's our 4th one. This is where we're going to work our first cluster. We're going to yarn over, and just like what we did before, we're going to enter from the front to the back, back out the front again. We're going to grab our yarn and pull it back through. Give it a little tug to kind of bring it up to our level of row 3. We're going to yarn over and just go through 2. And we're going to do that 2 more times. So yarn over, around that stitch from the front to the back, grabbing our yarn and pulling it through and just giving it a little tug. Yarn over and pull through 2. One more time, yarn over, go around that stitch from the front to the back, grab our yarn and pull it back up, give it just that slightest little tug and pull through 2. We have 4 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops, and this creates a cluster, and it's going to kind of lay at an angle. Returning back to row 3, we're going to skip a single crochet, and we're going to place a double crochet in the next stitch. There we go. And a double crochet in the next stitch right there. Just like that. Now we need another cluster. We have this one cluster leaning this way. We need a cluster leaning this way. We're going to go here to the very, very next double crochet next to where we put our cluster in. We're going to work a cluster around this double crochet. Now when you place your hook into your work, make sure you don't catch this little remnant of a stitch right here. Don't accidentally go around that. You just want the post. So yarn over. We're going to enter our work front to back, grab our yarn and pull it back through, give it a little tug to bring it up to our row 3 level. There's 1. We're going to do it 3 times. There's 2. And there's 3. We have 4 loops on our hook. We're going to pull our yarn all the way through after we yarn over. Looking at the back here, we're going to skip a single crochet because our cluster lays on top of it, and we're going to double crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2. Now we're to the point where we need to do another front post double crochet down here. If we look on this side, because again we're all about symmetry, here we've skipped 1, 2, 3 double crochet from where we had this front post. Let's do the same on this side. Here's our cluster. We're going to skip 1, 2, 3. I'm going to place our front post around this one right here, the 4th one over. Remembering to pull up to bring it to the level of our work. We're going to skip the single crochet that this front post covers, and we're going to place a double crochet in each stitch across. We should have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and right here at the end, making sure you get both the front loop on the back loop, because on the very ends they're a little tricky sometimes, and 7. I'm going to remove my hook. Let's take a look at our work. So we have 7 double crochet here because our chain 3 counts. We have 7 double crochet here. We have a front post double crochet and a front post double crochet. We have 2 double crochet in between our cluster right there. And then we have a cluster that leans this direction, a cluster that leans that direction, and we have 2 double crochet in between. These are going to be a very beautiful braid as it goes up the center of our block. And then these are just going to be very nice, refined little braids that go up on either side of our large braid here. Let's move on to the next row, row 4. Row 4 is very simple. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to place a single crochet in every stitch across. We're going to want a total of 24 of them, so make sure you count. You don't want to be off. We're going to start in the very first one here. We've already chained 1 and turned. This is our first stitch, single crochet. There's 1. We want 24. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As you come across here, things are a little cattywampus. Just make sure you get each stitch. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and this chain 3, remember it counted as a stitch, so we're going to place 24 in the very top of that. And there is row 4. Not much to look at, but we've got a lot of action coming on row 5. So let's continue on. For row 5, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to turn our work. We're going to place a double crochet in each of the next 6 double crochet. This chain 3 counts as a double crochet. It's connected to this first stitch here, so we're not going to work here. We're going to the next. And so in the next 6, we want to place a double crochet. So here's 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. So that was 6 double crochet in the next stitch across. This one counts as 1, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just like down here, we have 7. Now it's time for another front post double crochet. What's nice is this one's already established. We don't really need to count over anything. We're just going to place a front post double crochet into this front post double crochet, and it works so lovely. You're just going to yarn over and just slide underneath that front post double crochet. Don't go into it. Don't try to split the stitch. You're just going to yarn over and just slide right under it. Grab your yarn and pull it back through, and give that yarn a little tug to kind of bring it back up to the level where you're working for this row. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to skip the single crochet that lays on top of, going here to our next stitch, a double crochet. The next stitch, a double crochet. Now this may be where some of you left-handers got really confused, because the pattern says you want to work in the stitch to the left of the first cluster. Well, if you're left-handed, that puts you out over here, and now you don't know what's going on. So we're not going to say that we're going to work to the left or to the right. We're going to work in the center of our clusters. We're going to go to the very first double crochet inside our clusters. We're going to work a cluster in that stitch right there. So yarn over, going behind that stitch, we're going to work around the post. Grab our yarn and pull it through and give it a nice little tug, and just go through 2 after we yarn over. Yarn over, go around that stitch, grabbing our yarn and pulling it through and giving it a little tug. Yarn over, pull through 2. One last time, yarn over, go around the post of that stitch, grab our yarn and pull it through, give it a little tug, yarn over, pull through 2. That leaves us with 4 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 4, creating another cluster that's just right to the inside and then leaning out. Very pretty. Now we're going to skip our first single crochet back here. We're going to go to our next single crochet and place a double crochet right there. Going to the next stitch, a double crochet. These are the 2 double crochet that we will work our next set of clusters around. Now that we have these 2, it's time for a cluster for this side. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go back down here, and we're going to work around the post of this remaining double crochet that's in between our clusters from row 3. We're going to yarn over, pull up our yarn and give it a little tug and bring it up to that working level. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go around that stitch again, just that stitch. Be careful where your hook ends up going. Yarn over and pull through, give it a little tug. Yarn over, pull through 2. One more time, yarn over, go around that stitch, grab your yarn and pull it up through, give it a little tug, yarn over, pull through 2. We have 4 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Looking behind, we're going to skip this single crochet that this is going to lay on top of. Going to the next stitch, a double crochet. Our next stitch, a double crochet. Now it's time for us to have the front post double crochet. We're going to go right here to this front post double crochet, wrap our yarn around our hook, slide underneath that front post, grab our yarn and pull it back through, tug our yarn, bringing it up to the level where we're working, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to look where we're working here. We're going to skip this single crochet, and we're going to double crochet in each of the last remaining 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, And right here at the very end, remembering, make sure you get 2 loops on there. The ones at the end are always so difficult. And 7. I'm going to remove my hook and let's take a look at our work. Isn't this coming together beautifully? It takes a little practice for this block, I'm not going to lie. So here we have 7 double crochet here and 7 double crochet here. A front post and a front post. 2 double crochet in between, 2 double crochet in between. Our first cluster, our second cluster, and in between the cluster, we have 2 double crochet in which to work the next set of clusters. For this pattern now, all you're going to want to do is repeat row 4, which is your single crochets, and row 5, which is your cluster braid row, over and over again, row 4, row 5, row 4, row 5, until your block is approximately 7 inches square. Do your best to end on a row 4. If you find that your work is starting to taper in as you're adding your rows, you may have missed a stitch somewhere. Always make sure you have 24. If you find that you missed a stitch, pull all of your work out. Don't add another stitch somewhere else. Pull all of your work out to the point to where you overlooked and missed that one stitch, and then start from there. If you find that your work is starting to veer out a little bit, you've accidentally added a stitch somewhere. So once again, go back, find out where you have 24 stitches, pick up your work from there. I'm going to go ahead and work on rows 4 and rows 5 until my work is approximately 7 inches, and I'll meet back up with you. And 24. I'm going to go ahead and remove my hook from my work here. I've ended on a single crochet row. And yes, this is curling just a little bit. It's okay, you can block this if you feel that you need to, but I think after a while this is going to straighten out. But look at this beautiful block. Look at these beautiful front post double crochet that are on either side of this really great cluster braid. Isn't that beautiful? Now I know this was a difficult block to get through. If you did it, I'm proud of you. If you're still struggling, it's okay to ask me for some help or some guidance. I'm always more than happy to help, and we can see how we can help you get through getting this block set and ready to add to your Afghan. Really is pretty. The back side, really not much to speak of, but it's nice and clean. And then the front side has the beautiful detail. Now I did 8 groups of clusters up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I ended with a row of single crochet. I've pulled out one of my blocks here from earlier, and it really is just about square on where we need it to be. Now you want to complete round 1 of your edging. The link for that is in the description box below. And you want to do round 2 of your edging. And once you're all done with your edging, there's really only one thing left to do. Grab yourself a tag, write on here, week 44 cluster braid in color B. Place this on your work and set it aside. And I will see you next week for week 45, the crossed ripple stitch. That sounds interesting. Okay, friends, until I see you here in my craft room again, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.